Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. This will be our second video today to give you guys some technical analysis before our monthly close leading into April. If you haven't already watched the video I made earlier on the XLM Stellar Lumens decode using Gematria, go ahead and check that out. It's been highly requested and I finally got around to making that video. Also, for anyone who's new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, numerology, and astrology to understand these markets. If you like this content, feel free to subscribe, and I'll be doing my next giveaway at 5,000 subscribers. Tomorrow we'll be announcing the winner of the 2,000 subscriber giveaway for the free mastermind, and for the rest of today, the mastermind will be on sale. So email me in the description if you're interested. It'll be $100 for lifetime access to the mastermind course. Also, we're going to go right into the charts. I just wanted to let you guys know, if you have any scammers in the comments section, please let me know about them. I did mention it in the video earlier, but we keep on having these accounts pop up. So I'm making sure to hide all those people, but help me out in the comments. Just let me know if you see anybody making fake accounts copying me. You'll know it's me because I'll be my name is highlighted, and also I won't be asking you to contact me on WhatsApp or whatever. It's crazy stuff. Anyways, let's get right into the charts. So today is special because Bitcoin and all the altcoins will not only be closing a monthly candle, they'll be closing a 2-day and a 3-day. So this is a pretty big moment leading into April. Again, I was very bullish on April, and here on this channel we've discussed a potential $72,000 Bitcoin sometime in April and a $1 XRP in April. I was looking for April 5th as a potential day to see a number like 63,000 or even 66,000, because those numbers align using Gematria, and the $72,000 Bitcoin because 72 is the most pure cipher, the English ordinal cipher, using English in Gematria. And of course, we got the 4-5 for April 5th, which is right around the corner. Then we have the 28th of April, if I remember, which will be the 117th day, and then approaching the $63,000 price. Again, 36 reversed, as above, so below. And we're heading towards that 72,000 in a couple of weeks, if not as early as April 5th. We did make a video about that a couple weeks ago, so feel free to go check that out if you want to be informed on some of the earlier work I've been doing. With that being said, we're looking at a lot of interesting things with this Bitcoin movement lately. For one, we are at the top of this 786 Fibonacci, which is a very critical zone for a daily close. So if we see today's daily close get above $59,350, give or take, we will not only be closing a daily above the golden pocket, we will be closing a 2-day, a 3-day, and the monthly. Okay? And when we go to the monthly chart, when we go to the weekly chart, another thing that I'm seeing unfold, which could be a potential very bullish sign leading into the end of this week, would be a new high weekly close. So if I put my cursor right here, you can see the weekly close high is somewhere around 58,800, and right now we're sitting slightly above that. So if anyone's wondering why we're getting a lot of resistance at this level right here, at this level around 59,000, it's because it's the weekly resistance, and also it's the top of the golden pocket. And this is always a battleground, like right back here. You can see if I put my cursor there in alignment with this previous structure, that there was only a little bit of price action needed to get above in order to see new highs. And that would be the same thing that happens time and time again during a bull market. And we're in a bull market. So it's imperative that you notice that there's some very simple things that can be done to determine continuation to the upside. And one of them would be just simply using fibs. Another thing that we've been using is some of our indicators that are very basic, and one that's pointing out to me as bullish continuation would be this MACD cross to the upside. So we're seeing on the daily chart for Bitcoin, the MACD has crossed and we are seeing histogram flip green. Okay, so that is typically what we see before Bitcoin hits new highs, and it's what we see time and time again. Also, something of a warning sign that I talked about a couple of videos ago was this macro bearish divergence, which means that we're seeing a lower high on RSI continually with higher prices continually. And that's macro. That's something that's happened all the way back since January 8th. Now, that's not super problematic in my opinion, like I stated in that previous video, because when it comes to these divergences, they play out on short terms really nicely. But let's just say if we were to hit up into this trend line, this downsloping trend line again, and then get rejected, but this was like 73 or $74,000 price, meaning the price hit 74, 75, whatever, 75K, and we're seeing this rejection, that would actually be pretty healthy. If anyone studies a logarithmic growth curve chart, you'll know that we don't want Bitcoin smashing right to $100,000. That'll completely destroy the structure of this market. That'll put everything into a very overheated zone and way too early. I think that there's a possibility to see a $100,000 Bitcoin probably in the summertime, like sometime around June. I wouldn't even be surprised to see it in some of the last days of May. But with that being said, we need to take it one step at a time. I know people, a lot of people are new to cryptocurrency and they want everything to just go to the moon as fast as possible, but that's not healthy. I've gone over that in a lot of my videos. Most of you that are here and you've been sticking around for the last couple weeks, you know that I'm not based on hype. I'm not trying to get people hyped up. I'm actually more of a technical analyst, but I'm a very enlightened individual. So when I started understanding this gematria and numerology and astrological connection to these markets, it quickly clicked with me. Okay? But with that being said, you need to have both. You need to have an understanding of technical analysis in order to make sense of where the movement could go. Okay? Because let's just say our RSI was all the way overheated at 88 or something like that. That wouldn't mean that our gematria alignments will be bullish. That would mean that some of these dates that we're coming to might actually be time for a reversal. So it works in both ways, okay? And I want people to be aware of that. Just because we're in a bull market doesn't mean we're not going to see multiple 20 to 30% corrections happening time and time again. Okay, that's actually what we want. We want to be seeing a new high and then a nice healthy pullback and then continuation to the upside. That's how this whole market works, and it's very volatile in crypto. But when you're in the middle of a bull market, that's the way it kind of goes. It needs to pump you out. It needs to pump fake you. So that way the emotional investors get shaken out before the whales push us back to where they need to go. So with that being said, another thing that I brought up in my mastermind private video today was this macro W pattern breakout. So a W pattern is really crucial. The way that you could spot it is there will be two V structures which connect to create a W, and the second V will have a higher low. That's a W. And you'll know that there's a breakout when you get above the neckline, which is the top of where the W's connect, or sorry, where the V's connect. And what that would look like is, let's just say tonight's closure is outside of the 786, but it's not ready to break new all-time highs. It does something like this, where like right there, it gets above the neckline. Sorry, that line was ridiculous. It gets above the neckline, and then it comes back to the neckline to confirm as a support, and then blast off. Okay, so these macro W pattern breakouts are some of the most bullish patterns you can see. Another thing I'm going to check out real quick before we get into XRP, Theta, and a couple other alts is this chart right here. It's one of my favorite charts. And what this tells me is that if I switch it over to this cursor, the $72,000 Bitcoin is actually possible tomorrow. The top of this channel is exactly at 72,000 right now. And the middle of this channel is typically what we fight with before we reach those numbers. And right now it's sitting around 63, which again is reverse 36, as above, so below. And then 66,000 is really pretty much right there. And if you look back to here, whenever we get above the heart line, we typically break out a little bit above it, come back in and confirm it as support before we hit the top of the channel. Again, play on the top of the heart line, confirm down into it, hit the top of the channel. So what that would look like is something like this, right? We would come into the channel, play around, maybe get some higher highs, and then send it. And then that's when you'll see your 80K possibly by the end of the month, by the end of next month. Could very well see an $80,000 Bitcoin before the end of April, according to this chart. And this chart is working very, very well. After it started all the way back in October, it heartline, failure of the heartline, came back up, resistance, resistance, hit the top of the channel. Came back to the heartline, lower high, down to the heartline, failure, bottom of the channel. Now we've gotten one play to the top and the bottom, two plays to the top, two plays to the bottom. Okay, so if this hits the top again and then comes down, we can almost guarantee that we're going to just keep fighting this channel until we reach $100,000 Bitcoin. And what that would tell us is that the fastest amount of time we could hit 100,000 and stay within this channel is June 14th. Okay, and I'll be making another video about that on a separate date because everyone wants to know when will Bitcoin hit 100,000. So you just got a sneak peek right there. Okay, so I don't really want to go too much into XRP. Again, XRP is kind of just like trading in the same region it's been, and it will most likely have its time to blast off sometime into the second or third week of April. The way we found that out is by using XRP and Ripple in the Gematria calculator, and we're getting 14. And that 14 is the 14th week moving into April. Also, we could go on April 14th, and that would be perfect alignment. Also, Gary Gensler getting a SEC nomination sometime in the first leading into the second week of April. So many things going on at that time frame. So important to think that what happens with XRP is it just pops, right? It just pops. You'll wake up and it'll be up 50%. You're like, what just happened, right? So please go back in my earlier videos if you want more breakdown of the TA on that. But until it makes a move, there's no point of doing any TA on it. Kind of just the way this market works. Do a quick little look at Theta. This chart right now is working perfectly. Again, I did a decode on Theta sometime, I think, earlier in this week. The one thing I was looking for was a bearish cross in the MACD, and I think I'm getting it. So tomorrow, this MACD will cross fully, right? You could see right here the histogram flipped red. This is one of the most ridiculous looking MACD chart. This is crazy looking, right? It needs to cool down. So I know people are like really bullish on Theta, but you want buying opportunities. You want little backups and dips so that you can buy the dip and accumulate in your position. Because when it goes parabolic like this, you don't really have a chance to buy, you know? That's kind of the thing. It's the FOMO, but you don't want to FOMO. You want to be an investor, not a gambler. And an investor waits for these corrections. So from a technical perspective, this red moving average, which is the 34 EMA, is where I'm looking for a potential pullback. Now, this moving average updates every 24 hours. So it could be up at $10 before we get that pullback. But the odds are it's probably coming back there. So just keep that in mind. Let me quickly, so Chainlink, we're getting a bullish cross on the MACD on Chainlink, which was exciting because, again, I like to buy when things are boring. So I buy boredom and blood. Those are the two times where I like to buy. And we're seeing this histogram is about to flip bullish. We had a fake out right back here. And what I think we're moving into is this moment right there, where this starts to make some pretty insane moves. Probably $50 Chainlink next month is in the cards. I'm not saying that will happen, but that's This has been really suppressed, and I would not be surprised. Also, we're seeing a continuation of lower highs, and this looks like a perfect symmetrical triangle. So I'm going to take all this, I'm going to remove all the indicators. This is not a very clean chart. I'll make a separate chart just for these videos, for the YouTube videos. This is more stuff that I use for my mastermind. But yeah, you could see this symmetrical triangle is getting close. And the symmetrical triangle breakout is 75% through to the apex. So what that's telling me is we could essentially do a measured move. I'm not saying this is the way it'll go, but let's just say something like this, and we're looking at a $46. And that wouldn't really make much sense because it's in the middle of the 2618 and 3618. So 55 is the next bigger target I could see happening in the month of April. Ethereum finally not being boring. It's had a pretty nice move to the upside from that backup, 21% in the course of like a week or so. Again, it's forming a macro W. So get ready. Probably going to see a $2,500 Ethereum. At least next month, the Bitcoin pumps up. And I think we're kind of in the midst of breaking out live on this video. But anyways, I don't want to go into too many things. I know in yesterday I did bring up Vechain and I forgot to go over it. So I will give that a little bit of a moment right now. And I think I saw a bearish MACD cross on... Yep. So a couple days ago, we saw a bearish MACD cross, which means that an incoming buying opportunity is on the horizon. When it comes to Vechain, I look for the 55 EMA, which is this white line. As you can see, it's basically always wicking down almost to the 55. Some people use the 50 EMA. I like the 55 because it's a Fibonacci number. But anyways, yep. So again, every day that this closes, this 55 will move up because it is trading above the 55. And that puts us at about, I would say, as low as 0.65 cents. But let's just say 7 cents. 7 cents looks like a pretty reasonable pullback, and it's not much more, 20%, which for an altcoin is almost nothing. So that'll be a little backup phase before continuation. It'll look something like this into May. And because Vechain's already at new all-time highs, it needed to cool off, Look at this. It just went up in a straight line. This chart looks ridiculous. But that's what happens with altcoins, right? They just take off. So anyways, this video is running a little longer than I wanted it to. I just wanted to give you guys a maximum value today before tomorrow when we launch the Patreon. Again, we'll be launching the Patreon sometime tomorrow in the next video I make. And I'll also be doing the announcement of the giveaway for 2,000 subscribers. Next giveaway will be at 5,000 subs. And it'll be something different this time. So I'll let you guys know closer to when that's happening. I appreciate all your support. Enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.